Hello everyone and welcome to Borisov's Life. This is my brand new channel where I will be documenting my life here in Bulgaria and possibly in the future maybe abroad as well. So first of all, I would like to begin my channel with a simple first video about something that a lot of people actually don't really know about, not only from outside of this former Eastern Bloc, but also from the countries within it. So first of all, I would like to just begin with a really simple statement. When people usually think of the Soviet Union, the Eastern Bloc, and the things that they produced, people usually almost always think of the military machines or the rather basic, frugal but hardy cars that came out of this part of the world during the decades between, for example, the 40s and early 90s. But there is one thing that few outside of this part of the world forget about, and maybe once again people that are even from this part of the world also forget, and that is regular good old civilian items. Simple, right? Well, let me show you a nice example of one little known but definitely appreciated Soviet appliance. Now, some people might ask, what is this? What exactly is this? Is this a brush? Well, yeah, it is kind of a brush, but also not just a brush. This is a Veterok tree. Veterok tree once again, that's in Cyrillic. Veterok, maybe I guess that I can say it more in Russian, I think it means brace. But yes, this is an electric vacuum cleaner slash brush. As you can see here, it has holes to suck air in and a brush here for cleaning stuff. Well, here you can see it is also electric. Here you can, it is electric once again. You can see the cable, and here, just let me get it because it's kind of stuck. This is the end part that you plug in the wall socket. In Bulgaria we call it a stepsil. And yes, you can open it. Let me just see it for a second how it was. Yes. And you can see here, this is the inside. It has a bit of crumbs because, well, I use this. But yeah, it opens and you can see the inside. This is the back thing that the dirty things come in. And yeah, let me just close it right up. Come on. Yeah, sometimes it just kind of doesn't want to go in all that easily, but yeah, there we go. So, you can see here it's made in 1983, and the price to buy this thing was 13 rubles, so cena. That's the thing, it is cena. Cena means in a lot of Slavic languages, I think even in Russian, in Bulgarian, I know for sure it means price. It's 13 rubles. If someone that lived in the Soviet Union, if they can tell me how much 13 rubles was in 1983 compared to like right now, please tell us in the comments. But yes, that's about it. Here you can see 220 volts, 50 hertz, 55 watts. These are the electric specifications of the electric brush vacuum. Yes, once again, this is a vacuum. This is not just a brush, this is a vacuum. Yes, here it is the button. You can start it and stop it with that. Vknuchit, I think that's what it says. In Bulgarian it is vknuchvam. Yes. As with almost everything Soviet, for some reason, okay, it's not funny closed in here. Let me just fix this. 1 second. 1 second, please. All right. Thank you for cooperating now. Okay, so as you can see here, it is held together by flathead screws. For some reason, almost all Soviet things are held together by flathead screws. As you can see here, this thing is held by them, and you will see in my channel in the future a lot more things are held together by them. So yeah, you may ask yourself, well, this thing being built in 1983, as of me filming this video in late 2025, is what, 42 years old? Does it work? Well, let me just connect it right here and you will see. Of course it does. Why won't something made from the Soviet Union still work? Of course it does. As you can see here, on purpose I've net out some crumbs. Maybe you noticed them. I'm not gross. I did that on purpose. Let me just show you how it starts to clean them up. Maybe, I don't know if it will actually do that because it has been kind of gunked up these last few days, and I haven't really cleaned it up all that well, but you'll see. Yeah, it cleans up. It cleans nicely. Let me just move the keyboard. Yep, there we go. If you're wondering, this is from an old laptop which had like rubber feet that were melting, so yeah, kind of gross, right? But yeah, it works. It works great. Now, one thing that I suppose I should say is that since this uses a brush motor, for people who don't know, a brush motor is like kind of an older technology for an electric motor. Essentially, it has like carbon things inside that rub around other things, so it produces a certain smell. Like, it's not horrible. It kind of smells like gunpowder. Maybe you'll be shocked and say, "Oh no, this thing is going to explode. It's going to catch on fire." No, it won't. At least I don't think it would, because yeah, it is old. Maybe you shouldn't trust it, but I trust it. It works great. But yeah, it's totally fine. It works great. I actually bought this relatively recently, so I yet haven't known it for a really long time. But yeah, it works. I use it actually just to do that, to clean my desk. As you can see here, this is my desk. This is my gaming keyboard. This is my mouse. This is where I work. This is where I play games and etc. So yeah, you can see here, this old thing still does the job pretty nicely. And I have to say, this is some really nice plastic. It's so nice. It's so well put together. Now, even here, I guess the letters are kind of weirdly painted on. But yeah, I think that's nylon things, nylon brush. But yeah, the cable is nice. Here you can see the exhaust. I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing is not that complicated inside. Maybe it's a transformer or an electric motor and I guess some form of, I don't know, capacitor maybe. I think it's a DC motor inside. So maybe you don't need even a converter. I don't know what's inside. I haven't taken it apart and probably never will because, well, it works. Why do that? So yeah. Well, that was it for this cool little device. Let me just switch back to the front camera and we will talk a bit more. Now, for the Veterock, I don't actually own the case or like any of the stuff that came with it. I just own the vacuum itself, and yeah, that's enough. It works. I don't really need anything much. I will put a picture right now of how the boxed thing should look. Some of them pop up on sale as new old stock. This isn't new old stock. This is like just normally used. But I did clean it up really well when I got it. I'm a really clean person, so I do my best to clean things up as much as I can. And yeah, as you can see, it worked great. It sucked up all of these crumbs that I had left on there from my morning's breakfast. Once again, I'm not gross. I don't leave it on purpose. I just knew I would turn this thing on and just left them on there just to show you guys. So yeah, it works once again, really nice. Maybe I repeated it too many times in this video, but yeah, I just don't know what else to say. So I think this thing was produced between the 70s and 80s. As you can see, it was definitely made until the early 80s. Now, one thing that may shock Westerners, I suppose I could say, is that products under the Soviet system and also the socialist bloc were usually built in really long production periods. For example, I've seen examples online of this produced in the 70s once again, which means that this thing had at least a production run of more than 10 years, I suppose, which was pretty normal and actually kind of short because under the planned economy, you didn't really need constant evolution of products to keep them in demand. Demand was always there. You just had to produce a product that just did the job well, and one that just keeps doing the job. So you don't need something that's super advanced. You just need something that works and something that doesn't break. So yeah, the results are things like this. Something that, as you can see here, more than 40 years later, still works and does its job, which is amazing. try that with any more one with any modern product, you know. Some things you just buy and they get defective once their warranty ends. Well, clearly not this thing. This thing has survived like 100 times its warranty. So, I mean, I don't know with that one. I don't know if things in the Soviet Union had warranties, but yeah, as you can see, it works great. So yeah, once again, thank you for visiting my channel. Thank you for watching the first video on it. So if you want to see more of this content of me showing you little trinkets and stuff from the Eastern Bloc, and also maybe in the future some vlogging and walking around Bulgaria and showing you how life is around here, maybe remnants of the socialist era of the People's Republic, then definitely consider subscribing, because I have plans on this. So for more information, once again, I am Borisov. If you read my channel by, you know I speak Bulgarian, English, German, and currently learning Japanese. So yeah, I would really like to see you in my next videos, and goodbye.